I can feel that the KM College not only has flourished in education but also flourished financially also a little bit. उस टाइम पैसे नहीं होते थे तो हमको then we purchased these white papers, sheets, and we ourselves wrote La Politique in whites, and we gave the name of these 8 personalities, professors of University of Delhi University as well as JNU.
Om Sahana Bhavatu. May He protect us, both the teacher and the taught. Sahana Bhunaktu. May He nourish us both. Sahavidham Karavavahi. May we both work together with great energy. Tejasvinavaditamastu. May our study be enlightening and fruitful. Ma Vidvishavadi. May we not hate each other. A very good morning to everybody present here. Respected Professor Ji, Principal of the KM College, Sri Chandra Vakani, Chairman of the Governing Body of the KM College, Professor Rajni Abhidu, Doctor, University of Delhi, Srimati Monika Aradi, Member, Executive Council, University of Delhi, esteemed faculty members of the KM College, and the large number of alumni present here today, and my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. I recited that sloka because it is so apt in an educational institutions where the students and the teachers, the coordination, the affection, the togetherness in imparting knowledge is so important, which tradition Business KM College has carried on. And I feel privileged and proud to be a student of this college. So please don't think that I have brought religion into it. It's not a religion. This sloka represents the wisdom, centuries old, not only 7,000 years old wisdom. It is still applicable in today's world. In fact, just now the principal also mentioned about the various interdisciplinary approaches we looked into. It's all possible with the collaboration of the teacher and the students in a much more meaningful and effective manner. I'm very thankful to the college for inviting me and giving this rare honor of addressing this gathering on this Founders Day celebration in the college. The fact that I was invited by my own alma mater, my joy knows no bound. Yes, as I come here, walk down the memory lane, there is always, of course, a sense of nostalgia. I was not a very brilliant student. I was a mediocre, though somehow I passed out from this college with a lot of good memory because somehow I managed to maintain first division in political science honors. Very few, I was told there are 2 from KM College, a couple of them from Hindu College, and maybe Ramdas. And of course, I was not very enthusiastic. The competition was not really in my sense, but basically to achieve what I think is achievable. That was more in my mind. So I'm very, when I pass out from this college, I certainly can say with enormous of pride and happiness that I pass out from this college and join, fortunately, a next door institution where Rajni ji and we were together again, and another wonderful institution. So this sense of nostalgia, I didn't know much about this concept of nostalgia. Then I was watching a BBC documentary where I don't remember the American lecturer that when he was visiting Africa, he was asked by this correspondent, do you feel nostalgic coming to Africa? He kept quiet for some time. He said, see, I'm not feeling that, I don't have the feeling of nostalgia. And he said, why do you say so? See, when my great-grandfathers and ancestors were picked up from Africa and taken to America as slaves, and these villages were destroyed, nothing remained. So they didn't know from where, which villages. I can't trace back. I can't pinpoint this is the village, this is the area from where I was taken. So I don't know how to feel this nostalgia. And I remember that was during Bill Clinton was the president. And he said, see, Bill Clinton can go to Ireland and he says, this is the place where my ancestors had come. He can connect. I realized, okay, this is what nostalgia means. So I can connect here because the scale college, the vibrant college, and wonderful, see, the atmosphere, it there continues. So now I can feel, not only understand the meaning of nostalgia, but I can feel what nostalgia means. Of course, when the principal and the dignitary were there also, and Chairman Sasi that we invite me to present in this occasion. When उन्होंने कहा कि experience of the college. Of course, I thought it over. I'm still thinking, but I thought as mentioned by Aroraji also. See, life is a continuous process. You can't compartmentalize into bits and talk only of that compartment. It's very difficult. Because when I came to Kirori College, I had imbibed certain values which I learned when I was in the school. So that was a continuation which I carried on when I went to law faculty. So my experience as I come, I can not narrate, but there has to be a beginning because time is also limited. Basically, life is not unending. So I have also a limited time in which I can speak. Yes, I was studying after I finished my schooling in Ramakrishna Mission, I went for 2 years EU Science at that time. It was called University Science course in Shillong. And my father was very keen that I should go for medicine. He was a lawyer, he was a judge at that time. He was not very keen that I should join this profession. Because he has struggled hard to be a lawyer, because he reached to the highest position in the state. He was the first Advocate General also of the state before he was appointed as a judge of the Guwahati High Court. But he has seen the hard work life of lawyer and judges. Go for medicine and be good. But somehow this study of medicine was not very attractive to me, because immediately what I could think was that, going to the hospital and you see these crying people all the time shouting for help. I said, no, I can't tolerate this, it's not my job. I somehow told my father, no, I am not interested in being. And at that time it was not very difficult to get admission in medical colleges. There was no need. So depending on your the mark sheets you have in your 12th class or 10th, if you have a good. So I had a good chance, but I said I will not try that. I am not interested. So my father said, what do you do? So I didn't have an answer, of course. I said, okay, you study, go to Delhi, study ISKJ exam there. Okay, and there's an opportunity to go to Delhi. So I went to Shillong to get my mark sheets. My train was booked. At a time there was no Rajdhani, all this super fast express, all ordinary trains, Assam Express or something like that. I had booked my ticket to Delhi. I went to Shillong to get my mark sheets. Lo and behold, when I reached that day, the Pope died. And Shillong, as you know, is a Christian-dominated place. So when the Pope dies, everything shuts down. Nothing opens. New was closed, my college was closed, my tickets are booked 2 days after. What to do? And of course, university last days also was approaching for applying. I went to the vice principal of the college, was so kind, father. The father had to go to Delhi. The ticket I showed him. To go this ticket, after 2 days I had to go there and visit. Come, son. He took me to his office. He took out a big registrar. Everybody's numbers were there. And he wrote in a piece of paper, Mr. Kotiswar Singh, marks he got in English, physics, chemistry. I think you try your luck. Thank you, Father. Thank you. Of course, I went around, filled up all forms, all conceivable universities and colleges. Then the first list came out, Kirori Mal College. I was very happy, so I immediately went and interview took place. Professor B.B. Sarkar was there. He showed me your certificates. I produced my letterhead of the vice principal. He was impressed with the marks for it. Then, how can we give admission to you on the basis of this letter? Is this the letter? You don't have the certificates. Then I explained to you, this is what I promised him within 1 month I will get it. Fine. Then, luckily for me, the hostel list was out. I said, hostel and college, nothing like it. Because I got admission in some other colleges also, but then I didn't get the hostel in the first place. Why? And it turned out to be, it was a very good choice. I have loved. In fact, Kirori Mal College also at that time was considered one of the best as far as political science was concerned. Because I was not concerned with other subjects, but later on I came to know other disciplines as well. Kirori Mal had a very impeccable reputation. So that's how I got admission in Kirori Mal College. Well, there can be so many things I can speak of my hostel life, the other, but time is short. I will not like to go in detail, but the certain things important things to be kept in mind. Coming from the Northeast, of course, I had some exposure of the Indian society, the mainland. Because when I was studying in school, I had to pass to Calcutta. Obviously, Calcutta is a big city. So you could see some idea, you had some idea of Indian, how great this big is India. But when you come to Delhi, it's the capital of the country, and where you find people from all over the regions, speaking different languages, different cultural backgrounds. There is something which I really, something which I try to understand. Two things coming from, and as I don't know if there are students from the Northeast here also. We from the Northeast, we have a very, very secure life in our own areas. And we don't feel comfortable coming out of that secure zone. So what I find is that many of the students from Northeast, they would stick together and very little interaction. I think this is something which should be avoided. When you come out, you must interact with the wider world, understand the richness of this country. It's only learning, you can always get benefit. But again, same goes for the other side, those who are staying in Delhi and the big cities. My equal advice is that you must, whenever you have opportunity to interact with people coming from various remote corners of the country, interact with them, understand their feelings, understand their language, understand their concepts. Because so different. And India is such a vast country. I mean, 7th largest country in the world. 1.4 billion perhaps population. How many languages are spoken? Can anybody here, any student, tell me how many languages and dialects are there in India? Can anybody, or some of you must be preparing for some competitive examination also. Can any student tell me how many languages and dialects are spoken in this country? We all know 22 official languages, but India speaks more than 22 languages.
1600.
14,900 dialects. Can you imagine this country? And from various, and the culture is so diverse. After being a judge, I had opportunity to go various parts of the country. You go to the south, you go to the west, you go to the north, center, different cultures. But there is a unifying force, common unifying force, that is called India. That's a wonder called India. That's why I always comment, you must read this book, Wonder That Was India, that especially the students of history. If you go back to the past and discover it's such a rich tradition. Now, sometimes when I used to speak in Kashmir also, I used to give the example of Adi Sankaracharya. He was born in Kerala. At that time, there was no train, there was no Indigo or these airlines to fly him down to Delhi and go to. He used to walk down all the way from Kerala, went all the way up to Kashmir. After that, he established his pit, Dwarka in the west, Puri in the west, east, in the south and in Singeri. And with the same vision, same ideas. And India at a time, thousands of years, was India, but not in the sense what we understand of nationhood today. The nation is something very modern terminology with certain attributes. But in spite of this, without this, India was still a country, was a nation. It was I would say a nation, not a country in that sense. It was a nation bound by a unifying factor. What is that? Is difficult to find. Therefore, it is very, very important for us, all of us, to understand, irrespective of our place of origin, whether I come from Manipur, whether it is from Bengal, whether it is from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu, Kashmir, UP, understand that this is because of this country, which is absolutely necessary, and Delhi provides a rare platform or a venue to understand this, because Delhi is the place, the melting point of all different people from different walks of different regions. And that's why I say to the students that you must interact more and more among yourselves to understand the richness of this country. Of course, Kirori Mal College, I've been coming back a little bit of my own personal experiences. Of course, I was a student and staying in hostel. So we had our own hostel life. From the moment our classes are over, we go to the hostel, again interact with our own hostelers. Day scholars was again different. They are all busy coming in U special, and they will wait for the U special. So they had a U special culture, the day scholars. And all this, you see that when we walk down in the Patel Chase, all these U specials are all in line with different. They have their own politics also. Lal Kazi special, Rajpal special, Defense Colony special. Unka bhi apna politics hai, but I can't say much about it because I was not really part of it. So when I bought a U special, so they will look at me. Ye kahan se aa gaye? Because they don't see me very frequently in that particular U special. Because these students, they think that it is there, especially for them, exclusive monopoly. So this kind of life we see when you get up in U special. And U special was something, if you have to go to say South Delhi, the best is to take a U special because there is an uninterrupted flow of the bus. Otherwise, if you take a Mudrika, you change the bus, another bus, Kendra Vidya, I think Kendra Central Central Secretary. But I don't know whether it's still there. Terminal is there, Central Secretary Terminal. Okay. Because यहाँ तो 210 है, 220 है, 240 है, typical from Central Secretary. That's you never forget these numbers. Really. So, and it's a wonderful place. But I can say with humility, without even though of course you can make out, you can differentiate my me from my physical appearance and the way I talk, also the accent. But in Delhi University, I don't know, somehow I never felt being discriminated. I never felt that. Maybe, I don't know, I tried to figure out why I didn't feel any kind of, because there used to be, both there is a chinky wala, chinky, that was a word used for the people from the north. But nobody used this word to me also, then they understood. But I think perhaps the reason is perhaps if you mix up with them, they're together, then they don't make you feel also. That's also why I want to tell my friends from the northeast, don't make yourself very exclusive. We interact with them, and you see, in colleges, people don't have this kind of fossilized ideas of that you are this, you are that. You see, college life is a time where there is a free kind of emotions, a free thought, everyone experimenting with their lives. So, and in that kind of atmosphere, people don't have this kind of very biased prejudice or compartmentalized views of things, because everybody is experimenting. So, in fact, they would like if you have something new, there's something new in their life, learning things about. So, one must interact. This is something which I want to share with my young students from various parts of the country. Yes, in the morning, the wonderful performance by the NCC, I was wondering whether they took part in that 26th January parade. It was wonderful. I congratulate each and every one for this wonderful parade. I was told by the principal also, yesterday there was a function of celebration mark of the 75 years of Constitution. It's actually, that's what I ask many people when I go home. Why do we celebrate Independence Day on 15 August? Because that's the day when we got independence. So I ask, why do we celebrate Republic Day on 26 January? Can any student tell me? Why not 1st of January? Why not 1st of February? Why 26th January we celebrated the Republic Day? Yes, anybody? Tell me. Why? Any student, please. Why we celebrate 26th January as a Republic Day? Because yesterday you had this function in Camp, I was told. Because it was the day when the Indian Constitution became effective. It was implemented. And if you read Indian Constitution, the first thing you must do is to open the first page of the Indian Constitution, that is the preamble. What does the preamble say? The preamble says, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign socialist democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens what? Justice. What kind of justice? Social, economic, and political. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Equality of status and opportunity. And to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the integrity and unity of the nation. Well, as a judge, obviously, I'll make some reference to the Constitution and law also. तो आप लोग सोचते हैं हमको क्या करना है? हमने लोग के स्टूडेंट है ही नहीं नंबर वन. हम lawyer भी नहीं, except for Arora ji perhaps. Among us, I don't know if there is any lawyer here. Lawyer भी नहीं है. Judge तो है ही नहीं. I don't know if there is any judge also. तो हमको क्या लेना देना है ये सब Constitution लेके, law लेके? Very, very serious. This is something, a misconception among us, among the people, कि हमको कोई लेना देना नहीं है law और Constitution से. Law and Constitution is something which is with you every. आप अपने shadow को आप देखते हैं. When you walk, you don't realize that the shadow is following you. Just like that, the law and the constitution follows us everywhere we go, in whatever we do. लोग एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ, आप दुकान में जाते हैं, you ask for you purchase certain thing. What you are doing? You ask the दुकानदार, please give me this. Okay, he says he agrees to sell at a price. If you give the money, then he gives the product. तो क्या हुआ? एक contract हुआ. There is a contract going on unknowingly. You have executed a contract. So law conduct, she was much better law student, so she can explain the law contract. तो फिर ठीक है, तो क्या है? तो what's so big deal? No problem. फिर आपने देखा, आपने जो सामान जो खरीदे हैं, when you open out the product, जैसे बहुत वासन में देखते हैं, you order Amazon iPhone और खोल के देखा तो उसमें ईटा है. So what do? Then he said, I don't know law. उस टाइम में you will run to a lawyer. है? अब क्या करें बताइए? And when you run to a lawyer, if you run to a lawyer empty pocket, कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. And there's a pocket which you feel with the hard-earned money, you don't want to give to somebody else, no? That was a self-preservation, instinct of self-preservation. So the instinct of retaining your hard-earned money is always there. You don't want to give it to the lawyer, but you are forced to shell out because you don't know the law. अब क्या करेंगे? You have to take advice or legal advice. अब instead of that, if you knew the basic legal knowledge, कि आपको if somebody sells you a product which is not the value of the money you have paid, you can go to consumer protection जा सकता है. And consumer protection जाने के लिए you don't have to engage a lawyer. So these are basic things you have to know. आप जैसे कह रहे, हम तो कभी I've never done a wrong in my life. मैंने किसी को harm नहीं किया है. So why should I bother about law? Very good. You're walking on the street, on the footpath also. Then this fellow drunk driver, he mows you down, hits you. अब क्या करोगे? You say, I don't know. You first need to go and complain to the police station. क्या पुलिस स्टेशन में क्या करेंगे? आप FIR लिख पाएंगे? These are basic things. What I'm trying to say is that there are many things of law, basic aspects of law which every individual, every citizen must know. Don't rely exclusively on lawyers and judges. We don't want to, frankly speaking, as us sitting in High Court and Supreme Court, we want to sit relaxed for some time, not deal with all the cases which are, most of them are preventable at the outset. Many cases which comes up before us, we see that it could have been prevented at the beginning, at the initial. If the citizens had been alive, aware of their rights and duties, many of these problems could have been sorted out at that. तो आप तो गाली देंगे कि जजेस काम नहीं करते हैं, कितनी जाते हैं, कितने काम करते हैं, they don't do work. I mean, this is something I am saying in public because which I heard people saying, a very eminent personality speaking. लेकिन आप लोग तो जानते नहीं हैं जजेस का क्या लाइफ होता है. My wife is here, she would complain all the time, not able to spare any time, feed the family. 10:30 to 10:30 to 4. Then you come back home, prepare for the next case, write judgments. There any time for interaction, social life, and apart from, in addition to that, there is also the modern code of conduct for us also, which operates 24 hours, 365 days in a year, that you shall avoid interacting in public as much as possible. So these are, what I am trying to say is that merely because that we are not involved directly with the judiciary or the legal system, we should not think that we have nothing to do with law. That is why I just wanted to emphasize that whether you are a student of Kirori Mal College, studying economics, or political science, history, or chemistry, or zoology, which has nothing to do with law, but the basic knowledge of law must be understood by everybody. That will make also this country great. And of course, I mentioned also in our preamble that we have mentioned this word justice इक्वालिटी, लिबर्टी और थॉट फ्रेटर्निटी, आप सोचते होंगे कि these words the students, especially the students of history and political science, अरे ये लिबर्टी, फ्रेटर्निटी, इक्वालिटी, oh that's a French Revolution का स्लोगन है. But if you go back in Indian history, I mean, this is a concept which was already with us, which we have experienced. Example, I just give you a few examples. You know that there are a large number of Jews in India. They didn't come in recent years. They came sometime in the 57 BC, when the temple was dashed to the ground by the Roman Empire. So the Jews ran away scattered because they were persecuted. Wherever Jews were found, they were killed or they were converted. So they ran away all over the world. That's how the Jewish diaspora, many of them came to India. In the Gujarat side, this western, this portal. So there's, that was the time, the first time these Jews, they have settled here, they have continued to stay here. If you go to Kerala, in Cochin, there is a very old, one of the oldest synagogue there in Cochin. I don't know if you have been to Cochin, and please do visit. It's a wonderful place. So Judaism and Jews have been in this part of this country for centuries. Now we come to Zoroastrian, Persians, Parsis are very, very famous. They have contributed a lot in Indian history, in culture. It shows the Zoroastrians, how they came also. Again, they were earlier in Iran, Persia. When Persia was invaded and they were persecuted, they came and again took shelter in India. And I remember that the story, how the Persians were welcomed and allowed to stay. When they came, there was a Hindu ruler called King Jadi Rana of Sanjan in Gujarat. They came these strange-looking people, fire worshippers. So they said, why should we allowed to stay here? Then the priest, then he said, he took out, he asked, can you give me a glass of milk? He took out the king said, okay, get a milk, glass of milk. Then he added sugar into it. And said, he asked the king whether the sugar had been spoiled or has it, he said, the sugar has been sweetened. There is no change. Sugar has not been damaged. And they said, that's where you're going to do to enrich this culture of this country. The king said, okay, fine, we will stay here. Since then on, they have stayed in India and have contributed some of the few places in the world where you find Zoroastrianism being practiced. Yes, we talk of Christian, whenever we talk of Christian, we think of the British East India Company. Or these British came and they imposed this religion. No, in fact, the Christianity came much earlier also. In fact, there is a belief that the Apostle St. Thomas, he had come to India in 52 AD, of course, in this coastal area in Kerala. So they have been there for centuries, part of this, then assimilated themselves to this country, they have been a part of this culture of this country. In Islam also, we always think there is history of students. Islam, maybe invading Ghazni and Muhammad Ghazni or the Mughals, the Islam was implanted. No, Islam was very much there in Kerala when for this silk, this spice trade. A lot of Islamic, the traders, they came and they settled down in Kerala, this Mopal, that is called in Kerala. They integrated themselves with Indian culture, intermarrying with Indian people, and settled. So India has been a kind of a place where people from various faiths were welcomed, they flourished. You don't find the persecution of because they follow a different faith. And in fact, India also the birthplace of Buddhism, Jainism. So you see, India is such a vast country with such a rich tradition, which is something to be proud of. If you, the students of history, if you see, there are so many civilizations. What is Egyptian civilization? Nothing, just the remnants of pyramids you see. Nothing is there. What about the Greek civilization, except for the ruins? So many civilizations, the Mayan civilization in Latin America, all vanished. But Indian civilization continues uninterrupted and thrives. And we of this, people of this country, residing in this country, will have to continue this great tradition of assimilation, harmony, is something which we must imbibe. Well, of course, again, going back to this interdisciplinary subject, which is, in fact, I was so happy to hear about this, because education somehow has been very, because we have imbibed this education model based on the Western concept of what education is good for, because education which was imparted during the colonial time was to make babus, the clerks, not for really advancement, individual advancement. That is what Vivekananda had realized. He gave great emphasis on the nature of education to be imparted. And so what is this? He asked this question, what is this education? Is it a book learning? Is it diverse knowledge? Not even that. Then what he says, it is that the training by which the current and expression of will are brought under the control and become fruitful, and it is called education. And he says, education is not the amount of information that is put into your brain and runs the riot, undigested all your life. And says, education to me is the very essence of education to me is a concentration of mind, not a collecting of facts. And he said, if I had the opportunity to say something about education, I would say that I will not study the facts at all. I would develop the power of concentration and detachment, and then with a perfect instrument I could collect facts at will. And he laid great emphasis on education, which is a life-building, men-making, character-making assimilation of ideas. What we said is that we want that education by which character is formed, the strength of the mind is increased, intellect is expanded, by which one can stand on his own feet. The critical, he always advocated a critical examination of the questions, and which obviously involved and trying to understand from a holistic perspective. Therefore, this interdisciplinary approach is one of the key elements of that approach. Because what we tend to do is that we tend to specialize. Obviously, we need to have specialized knowledge in this field, but at the same time, it can be devoid of other realities surrounding us, which I learned much more. When I become a judge in the Supreme Court, when you have to decide cases ranging from family disputes, which involves human psychology, murder cases, scientific evidence, cyber laws, commercial laws, taxation. So what is that? All kind of knowledge is something. Of course, it's not possible to have expertise in all things, but understanding, having holistic understanding of the society and knowledge is so much important to us.
My department of political science, we have this law politic. It has been there. I am told it is still there. As a students, we used to go to different seminars, symposiums, or any talk being organized by D school or some other colleges also. Then we said, why not in Kirori Mal College? In fact, Krishna Murari is also here. He was the president of law politic. I was the secretary. Said that हम सोचे कि कुछ करते हैं. We must have organized a very big seminar. So then we sat down together. Then we thought of a plan. We made a list of about 6 to 8 professors of repute Professor Rajni Kothari, Professor C.P. Deshpande, Professor Bhamri, Professor C.P. Singh, और याद नहीं आ रहा outside. I don't know if I remember. I don't know whether we invited Arun Shori also. I don't know. Thomas Thapar, Arun Bose. Arun Bose. Those were the real intellectuals at that time, and you can't get them at one place. So we planned out. We will not disclose the strategy how we managed to get them together. And of course, उस time में उतना अभी I can feel that the KM College not only has flourished in education but also flourished financially also a little bit. उस time पैसे नहीं होते थे तो हमको then we purchased these white papers sheets and we ourselves wrote La Politique invites and we gave the name of these 8 personalities, professors of University of Delhi University as well as JNU. And we went around, we ourselves went around, सब हर हॉस्टल हर कॉलेज के सामने हमने खुद वो लगा के चिपकाया आप हैंड राइटिंग करके हैंड बिल्स and lo and behold such a huge crowd we have never seen in KM College at that time, and all the 8 invitees professors they came and they were wondering also how did you manage to get it. After that was every professor was asking us, अरे तुमने इसको कैसे बुला लिया, इनके पास टाइम नहीं होता है. So we didn't disclose the secret. And the topic also rising politics, regional politics in Indian politics, something like that. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that this constant intellectual exercise, interaction with the the intellectuals and the scholars is absolutely necessary, which I can feel that because the number of works which have been conducted by scholars here is a testimony to the richness of the academic environment of this college. I just wanted to share that. I'm sure the law politic must be continuing.
It's a very vibrant event.
Yes, vibrant. I mean, this is something to keep engaged, exchange ideas, share ideas, knowledge. This is something which we can get only in the university.
I think I'm taking too much time because the time is already up for me. Yes, I would like to say that when I was in Africa, Kenya, for attending a conference, they quoted a proverb which really struck me. They said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Something which we must all imbibe. We may excel in a particular field, but we have to develop faster this country, and all must work together. Because I would end this my speech with a poem of Rabindranath Tagore, which has always inspired me. A famous poem where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches his arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Thank you very much for giving a patient hearing, and again congratulate all the teachers and the students and everyone associated with the affairs of the Kirori Mal College on this memorable event of Founders Day for continuing to make this institution a marvelous place of acquiring knowledge and education for building a better future. Thank you and Jai Hind.